My adorable son was born from the love between my husband and me. Yet my mother-in-law spitefully comments that he isn't cute. It's unbelievable to say such things to her own grandchild without hesitation. To make matters worse, she treats me as an unwanted intruder. If that's how she feels, then I can be just as. This is the story of a self-centered mother-in-law from hell and the daughter-in-law who stands up to her. My name is Stella. I got married to Marcus when I was 28. A year ago, our long-awaited son, Wayne, was born. When he was around 3 months old, I returned to work and entrusted him to daycare. I wanted to stay with him at home as long as I could, but we had our reasons. Marcus's job wasn't stable, and his income had been steadily decreasing. In fact, I now earn twice as much as he does. With a newborn and more expenses to come, I made the decision to return to work. I don't mind working since I actually love what I do. However, there's someone who doesn't approve of it. Ruth, the mother-in-law. She moved in with us around the same time as Wayne was born, and for some reason, she seems to have a problem with me. Not only does she criticize my nursing, but she also finds faults in my everyday actions. Leaving your baby in daycare at such a young age? What kind of mother are you? Women have always been expected to stay at home and take care of the household. She sounds like she's stuck in the 50s. She relentlessly tries to enlighten me with opinions at such a level. As soon as I return home from work with my son, she starts yelling. You're working this late? Again? Don't you think it's a pity for Wayne? I spend the whole day with him on my days off, and he has a stable routine at daycare, so it's all good. Whenever I retort, she furrows her brows. Do you really trust the words of some stranger at daycare over your own family? If you keep this up, he won't grow up to be a well-adjusted and happy child. Despite not contributing to his care on a regular basis, she still has the audacity to lecture me about childcare. Moreover, she questions my character without hesitation. I regret moving in with a daughter-in-law who only cares about her job. Why did Marcus marry someone like you? I feel like I'm going crazy from the stress every day. I can't hold myself back to those statements. If you dislike it so much, you're free to move out, you know. You do realize why we ended up living together, right? In fact, there was a reason she moved into our house. Originally, she was living with her husband at their own home. One day, he got into a car accident, which left him paralyzed from the waist down. Additionally, it was discovered that his dementia was advancing. Unable to handle him any longer, she had to place him in a care facility. Following that, she pressured us to move in with her. Both Marcus and I had jobs, and it wasn't feasible for us to move from our current home considering the commute. So one day, she decided to unilaterally bring her belongings to our house and moved in without our consent. It was like a forceful cohabitation where she just moved in on her own accord. We know you're in a tough spot, so we accepted living together. But didn't we promise not to interfere with each other? Oh, did we? I don't remember that at all. Despite reminding her of the promise, she doesn't seem to care, as if she knows she won't be asked to leave. Her attitude is getting on my nerves. Please, stop it already. We agreed not to interfere, and that's why I okayed having you with us. This isn't what we agreed on. You're so annoying. I wonder why you aren't as lovely as Megan. She's such a sweet girl, you know. Megan is Marcus's brother's wife, which makes her my sister-in-law. To be honest, she isn't as sweet as Ruth says. I'd say she's more cunning than having a bad personality. She got married to my brother-in-law, Logan, and became a homemaker right away, which Ruth approves. She often invites her to our house, and they gossip about me.
Listen, Megan, Stella's still working.
Really? How could she leave such little Wayne and go to work?
Right? You, on the other hand, are an excellent wife by choosing to be a homemaker. You have peace of mind when you have kids.
I admire you, Ruth, so I'll do my best.
The cycle of trying to please each other goes on endlessly. What irritates me is that they intentionally have those conversations loudly within my hearing range. I truly despise them. Megan seems to want to gain Ruth's favor more and eventually starts speaking ill of me voluntarily.
Marcus is making about the same salary as Logan, right? And yet, Stella has to work, which means that she's bad at managing her finances.
A few years ago, his salary might have been close to Logan's, but it's been reduced since then. I haven't told them about his company facing financial troubles due to pride. Once Megan starts criticizing me, Ruth gleefully chimes in.
That's so true. It's her fault for being bad at handling money, and she even leaves her son to others. Megan, don't be like her, okay?
I know. Don't worry, Ruth. I have so much respect for you and will never disappoint you.
Oh my, you're such a good daughter-in-law.
They engage in a flattery contest, and that makes me feel so awkward just by listening to it. I wish they take it elsewhere. It's just adding to my stress. Feeling like I've reached my limit living with Ruth, I decided to talk to Marcus about it. Hey, I want to talk to you about your mom. She invites Megan over every day and they make fun of me all the time.
Really? Mom?
Since I usually get home earlier than him, he's never seen what's happening to me. As expected, he looks confused. Yeah, even though we promised not to interfere, she's been complaining about me working and constantly trash-talking me with Megan. I can't take it anymore. He ponders for a while and then something unbelievable comes out of his mouth.
Well, Megan gets along with her, right? So maybe you should try to get closer to her too.
What? Were you even listening to me? She even questions my character, you know. How am I supposed to get closer to someone like that? When I press him, he scratches his head and says,
Come on, don't get so worked up. At least try doing the same as Megan. Maybe then Mom will have a change of heart.
What the heck? Are you telling me to kiss her butt? Whatever then. I was stupid to ask for help. There's no one on my side. The thought makes me more frustrated than angry. The next day, the usual taunting from Ruth and Megan continues. Just as I start preparing dinner after getting home, I hear another comment.
I'm sure she's going to make another lousy dinner. She always takes shortcuts, and I really dislike that about her.
This is all because she's working, isn't it? You and I would never serve our husband lousy meals.
To tell you the truth, Ruth's cooking isn't anything awe-inspiring either. It's too heavily seasoned, and not that tasty. As for Megan, if she spends as much time at our house, I think her skills are nothing to boast about. While cursing them in my mind, I silently continue with dinner preparations. When Marcus returns, they visibly change their attitudes and stop bad-mouthing me. It makes him doubt what I've told him. Then, an unexpected incident occurs. While I'm at work, I receive a call from the daycare. After hearing about the situation, I called Marcus and rushed home. There I find Ruth and my wailing son. What do you think you're doing, Ruth? Taking him from the daycare without permission? When I shout at her, she sighs in exasperation. She looks at me as if I'm a fool.
What are you talking about? I did it for the sake of my grandson. Daycare is just a waste of money. Childcare is a mother's job after all.
That's your own unreasonable belief. I entrust him to the daycare for a reason, and taking him without permission is totally outrageous. It's no different from kidnapping.
Kidnapping? He's my grandson, you know.
It doesn't matter. You ignored the daycare staff stopping you and took him out. That's no different from kidnapping. Even then, she just shrugs her shoulders. To make matters worse, she utters something abominable.
This is ridiculous. To be honest, I find you and Wayne unpleasant to have around. If you have a problem with that, just get out of this house.
It doesn't matter what she thinks of me, but she has no affection for her grandchild. I have a major warning going off inside me, especially to say that right in front of him without hesitation. It is absolutely impossible to keep living with someone like her. I'm not going to let her get away with insulting my precious son. I must protect him, no matter what. Just at that moment, Marcus comes home. I immediately open my mouth. Honey, it was her who took Wayne from the daycare. I've had enough. I can't live in the same house with her anymore. That's when she suddenly shows fake tears, playing the victim.
Please, Marcus, listen to me. She called me a kidnapper. I was just picking up my adorable little Wayne.
Just picking up? Her words get me fired up even more. Don't be ridiculous. You just said my son was unpleasant to have around, didn't you? And you even told us to leave. Leave where? This is our house.
Are you pretending to be a good mother just in front of Marcus? Help me, Marcus. She's always bullying me like this.
Seeing her cry and appeal to Marcus, everything seems utterly foolish to me. If he were to side with her after witnessing this melodramatic performance, at that moment I vow to leave this house with my son if necessary. The first to break the silence is Marcus.
Well, I need to talk to Stella alone. Mom, please go back to your room.
He's been taking her side, so his request leaves her wide-eyed.
What are you asking me? You don't need to listen to her side of the story. I'm the one suffering through all of this.
It concerns Wayne this time too. That's why as parents, she and I need to talk first.
She wears an unimpressed expression throughout, but she probably doesn't want to argue with him, so she reluctantly agrees. Afterward, we talked for hours about the incident and everything leading up to it until we found a solution. A few days later, we planned to inform Ruth about the decision.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, Mom. We've finally sorted things out,
Marcus says with all smiles. Upon seeing him, she seems to believe that he has taken her side, and her voice is filled with joy.
Really? I can finally get away from Stella, huh?
Without listening to our side of the story, she's delighted. She calls Logan and Megan over and starts bad-mouthing about me, just as always.
Oh, this is such a relief. Today's finally the day I can part ways with Stella. Isn't that right, Stella?
I answer with a big smile, saying, Of course.
In that case, get out of here quickly and take that not-so-cute child who looks just like you. From now on, this house belongs to Marcus, Logan, Megan, and me. Bye-bye!
Then Marcus, who's been quiet, slowly spoke up.
Well, honey, shall we go?
Huh?
Right, let's go.
Wait, what?
She seems utterly confused, looking at Marcus and then me back and forth. We carry our things and head toward the front door as a family of 3. She stops us there.
Wait, what on earth is going on? You're going to stay with us, right, Marcus?
What nonsense.
He turns around to face her with a cold stare.
I'm leaving with Stella. I can't put up with your baseless accusations anymore.
She seems shaken, her body trembling, as she slumps to the floor.
Why? How can you take her side?
I heard everything from the staff at the daycare. How you took him away without permission and even cursed them out. How you've been speaking ill of Stella at the daycare too.
That's...
I never thought you were such a horrible person. I'm disappointed in you. Go ahead and have yourself surrounded by people who listen to you and have a good life.
Then he pushes me forward, and we walk out of the house. I hear her crying and calling his name for a while. On the way to our new home, he apologizes to me.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize everything sooner. Please, forgive me.
Oh, please. Just taking action like this is more than enough. I give him a peck on his cheek and my brightest smile. What makes me happier than anything else is that he believed my side of the story. From then on, we've had no more dealings with Ruth and Megan and returned to a peaceful life. Later on, when we canceled the lease on that house, Ruth had no place to go and ended up moving in with Logan and Megan. Her presence strained their finances, and Megan had to start working. Ruth is now all alone at home. She has no one to talk bad about or gossip with. What's more, she's constantly quarreling with Megan, who used to be so close.
Because of you, I have to work now. This is messed up.
Am I the one at fault here?
You're so annoying, useless old lady.
Seeing Megan's true colors, Logan's feelings cooled off, and they're currently in divorce mediation. She had the time and luxury to act cute in front of him before, but as she started working and became increasingly stressed, her true nature came to the surface. No matter what situation they find themselves in, I have no intention of dealing with them ever again. My plan is to build a happy family with Marcus and Wayne.